Yolanda Postel here. I'm a life coach and I help women break through limiting beliefs so that they can create the life that they envision for themselves. You know, Valentine's Day just passed. The love is the topic at the moment. So I thought I'd hop on and do a brief video on relationship killers. I don't know about you, but let me tell you, there are some things I did in the past that messed up some of my relationships. um, Now happily married, so glad I finally got it right. But there were some things we had to go through to get our relationship on a healthy path. And I think one of the main things that had to be done was setting boundaries. You know, when we first got married, I did not make certain things clear as far as what my boundaries would be in various areas. So, what happened? I didn't make them clear. So, of course, my husband offended me in certain behaviors because I didn't set the boundary. So, whatever your boundaries are, make them clear from the very beginning. And if you make them clear from the beginning, then you save yourself a lot of headache. Sometimes you may not even consider or think of a boundary until after it's been breached. But once that boundary is breached, you lay down what your expectations are, and from that point forward, it's something that should be respected. Of course, next relationship killer, unforgiveness. That's a big one. The day you choose not to forgive is the day that your relationship is over. Because let me tell you, if you're in a long-term relationship, you're going to have to forgive your spouse over and over and over and over again. It's not a one-time thing. There's going to be things you do that they're going to have to forgive you, and vice versa. So it's important to forgive. Of course, there are some things that you may have to walk away when it comes to a relationship and call it. But if it's just a build up of a lot of little things, don't let that kill your relationship. Don't have the dreaded laundry list. I'm guilty of it. I did it before in my earlier years of my relationship. I would sit there and pull out the list. You did this to me at this time. You did this to me 2 years ago. I remember when we first got married, you did these things. So I had to make up once and for all. You know what? I chose to forgive him. I'm not going to drag these things up. I'm not going to continue to throw these things in his face after he apologized, after I said I forgave him. And I had to let it go. I had to really allow, when those things tried to come up in anger, that I was not going to sit here and accuse him of things that he'd already made up for or apologized for. So leave the laundry list alone. When you get into a discussion, a heated discussion, aka argument, when you get into that heated discussion and that argument, just make up your mind when those feelings start to rise up that you want to just pull out that list, push those feelings to the side. Say, nope, that's already done. I'm not going to bring it up again, and leave it alone. Relationship killer, I think number 3, right? So here we are. You're going through something. You vent to your family and friends. Lord have mercy. Whew. I know. Guilty. Did it. The issue is when you and your spouse, significant other, make up, you may have forgiven them, but it does not mean that your family or friends have forgiven them. So now there's this wedge between the relationship that everybody has, this animosity, because of course they love you, they're on your side, and you have some people that can remain impartial, but let's face it, a majority of people, it's just not in their wheelhouse. They cannot be impartial. They are going to pick a side. So when it comes to you having to vent, find somebody that don't know either of you. Go to a counselor. Work through your problems with your pastor or a professional. However, don't vent to your family or friends. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And last relationship killer, lack of respect. And when I say lack of respect, twofold. First is when women emasculate their man. Men are very sensitive, and they thrive off of respect. We thrive off love, they thrive off respect. And when we, as women, emasculate our man or say certain things, they're not going to show it, but we are hitting their core of who they are. And after a while, to continually emasculate the man, it chips away at their self-esteem, and they become a shell of what they could be for you. All of that yelling at your spouse in front of other people, take those conversations behind closed doors and make it private. Causing scenes, saying things that really insult and hit below the belt. I guess one of the things you'd want to think about is, what if they said those things to you? How would you feel? How would you receive that? Would it be something that you would be devastated to hear? And our words have life. So what we speak can cause life or it could kill. So it's important that we respect our spouse, and in turn, we want them to respect us, right? It's a give and receive. So to have healthy relationships, respect is a must. It's a non-negotiable, really, because a relationship can't survive without it. So those are just a few relationship killers that I hope you manage to avoid. But if you want to hear more on the topic, click the link in the notes and download the latest episode of Purposeful Woman podcast. What is love? Or should I say, what is real love and how to keep it? Until next time. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button to be notified of new content. And be sure to share this video with someone.